The 7 deadly sins are the world's purest incarnation of evil. Pride, greed, sloth, gluttony, lust, and wrath. These forces of evil have terrorized the world ever since the dawn of time, bringing evil upon the world. But every action has an equal opposite reaction. The 7 heavenly virtues. Hey everyone, Kaisen here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at and going over some characters in Lookism that best embody the 7 heavenly virtues. Purity, patience, charity, diligence, kindness, justice, and humility. But with that out of the way, we do now have an official Discord server, and it's filled with all kinds of kind people, so if you want a server to talk Lookism about, or just a server to make friends, Gen 3 is definitely for you. The link will be down in the description below, and last video, it was the 7 deadly sins of Lookism. Now, welcome to the 7 heavenly virtues of Lookism. Someone who represents purity the best is none other than our main character, Daniel Park. Daniel Park, being born at the bottom, his mind was warped by the trauma he's experienced, being taken advantage of and beaten by Logan Lee. With pain and struggles on top of his life already, he wasn't going to let embarrassment be an addition. So, with a fateful incident that tested Daniel's integrity, a choice to protect the only person who cares for him, or to try and protect his reputation that never existed in the first place. With his mind being clouded, he picks the wrong choice, turning his back on his mother and defending Logan's actions. But Daniel is a kind kid deep down. This must be why he was given another chance. With Daniel's mind being free from manipulation, he finally realizes what he did wrong and vows to never turn his back on his family. With his convictions being reinforced by his second body, being the way to Daniel's will, Daniel being tested once more to see if his resolve has been solidified, Daniel finally overcame his fear of Logan, even besting him in his original body. After this incredible emotional development, Daniel's purity has only increased and shown through his actions, helping Jay high, defending his friends, saving his second body. Daniel Park is the epitome of purity, humility, and patience in Lookism, and it shows. But speaking of patience, Elijah, the resident Big Daddy of Hostel, showcases more than enough patience and restraint. Elijah, someone whose his whole life has endured hardships, from being abused by his family to being kicked out into the cold streets of the night. Even as a kid, his spirit never wavered. Being taken in by Tom Lee stopped his patience from turning into sloth. A kind soul, but a tough soul. After finding Hostel, his life seemed to calm down. He slowly stopped seeing the need to fight unless it was to protect. His patience exceeded that of time. His patience evolved to tolerate being away from his family just to protect them. Evolved to tolerate his own partner cursing him for words that never left his mouth just because he knew that this lifestyle would put her in danger. Evolved to take blame for things that were never his fault. Throughout his disappearance, as much as he wanted to, he could not contact Hostel, fearing that his presence will once more cause them misery. And so he sat in silence for 3 whole years, with just a sliver of hope that one day his family will be reunited. Love, dedication, and patience. This is what Elijah embodies. Now, this character is probably the most giving of them all, and not just in a literal sense, but giving up his time and self for a noble cause. Jae Hong is our candidate for charity. Despite being the son of a rich conglomerate, his heart stayed pure and giving clothes to Daniel Park when he needed it, and being a big part of the invasion of the First Affiliate by taking on the financial burdens by buying fake uniforms, renting an ambulance, all for their infiltration. His charity doesn't only extend to materialistic things, he also gives himself up for the people he loves, deciding not to fight Daniel even as he was beaten to a pulp. Jay's kindness and humbleness knows no bounds, and is shown especially in the newest chapters where He fulfilled Hostel's dream of making a safe haven for runaway kids, financed by himself and assisted by himself. We all need a J in our life, someone who's rich, kind, and extremely handsome. For diligence, I was actually torn between two characters, Zack and Vasco, but ultimately I decided to go for Zack. In Zack's childhood, he was always shown to have a prodigious nature to him. He was faster than everyone, stronger than everyone, and that made him important. That made him the strongest. But strongness breeds complacency, and throughout all of middle school, Zack reigned supreme, fighting off any bullies who dared to mess with Mira and Johan. But that fateful day came, the day where a genius was born, the day where Johan Seong single-handedly held his own against the Pungsan cult, despite not having prior fighting capabilities. This is where Zack saw the birth of a genius. With an inferiority complex welling up within him, after all that, Zack decided to quit boxing. He fell down a bad road, being a power-tripping egotistical maniac that uses his power to get what he wants. Until he met Daniel, that is. As they grew as friends, so did Zack's resolve. Finding a whole new reason to fight, Zack started training boxing again. But like all highs, you must come to a low to reach a new, and Zack started depending on self-hatred for strength. A toxic mindset that arguably made Zack his weakest, labeling himself as a dirty boxer. A lot of things matter to Zack. His friends, his life, Mira, but amongst all those things, the very thing that drives his passion is to win. And Zack never lacked dedication, he just lacked a way. So with Gong Seok-ji's guidance, he reached a whole new height, reaching it with wings of steel crafted from his very own efforts. Blood, sweat, and tears, your efforts will never betray you. And they did not. With his whole new strength gifted to him by his hard work, he gained a talent most people only ever aspire for. With this, he takes home Johan Seong. Believe in yourself. Reside in the present. And if you do, you'll have your day in the light. Now, our candidate for kindness is actually quite unexpected. For a notorious gang leader that excels in fighting, you'd think twice about putting him as a character like that on this list. But I'm sure once you get to know him, you change your mind. And with that out of the way, our candidate for kindness is Sinu Han. Growing up as an estranged kid, he practically raised himself in the streets of Big Deal, a territory in Gangseo. As a homeless, peerless kid, it's assumed that he wasn't actually from Big Deal, but from a foreign part of Korea, and he somehow ended up in Gangseo. We don't know how. Being alone and scared most of the time, he fought and he fought. But, just in luck, this street is something he has never experienced before. It was kind. The residents sheltered him, fed him, and cared for him. Now, a person with an actual brain in his head would probably swear loyalty to the street. And Sinu has so much more than just that. So of course, he vowed to protect this street as the boy of promise. With his kindness and loyalty, he protected the street from thugs and all sorts of threats. After encountering Jake Kim and Samuel So and their company, he even rescued them from a rival gang's execution. And after everything, when everything was at stake, he sacrificed himself for the safety of his crew and the street of Big Deal. When it comes to kindness, Sinu Han has the most cookie-cutter ideology of going about it. But that's what makes him so special to me and to you. To protect Big Deal and bring justice whenever it's harmed. Speaking of justice, in Lookism, when it comes to enforcing justice, I'm sure we all have the same person in mind. The leader of Burn Knuckles, and the fighter for the righteous and weak. Breakdeck star student, Vasco. Ever since he was a kid, he has always had this unwavering sense of justice. Even when faced with cruelty and manipulation, he did not back down. Only once in every billionth person is born with an overwhelming sense of righteousness. And despite being a normal person with no hint of prodigious nature, Vasco overcame it. What makes Vasco such a good character is his willingness to uphold justice at all times, even when the opposing force is stronger than him. He's shown in the illegal Toto arc, and even in the newest arc of Lookism, where he vows to protect Hostel no matter what. Vasco's character archetype is super basic, but the fact that his convictions from when he was a kid formed the righteous warrior he is today, trust in Vasco. And lastly, for humility, we have Jerry Kwan. Jerry Kwan embodies humility through his selfless actions and kind nature, continually prioritizing the needs of others over his personal gain. Jerry demonstrates a genuine willingness to help others and support those around him. His empathetic understanding of others' struggles and challenges contributes to his humble perspective, fostering a lack of ego and a down-to-earth demeanor not defined by any personal achievements or appearances. Jerry's inclusive nature and acceptance of individuals regardless of their background or appearance reflect a humble character, serving as a positive influence on those he encounters. Jerry encourages a personal growth and community well-being, showcasing humility through his actions and values in the series. And that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I actually had a lot of fun recording this video since it's like a part 2. Again, the description has the Discord link if you want to join, and please subscribe. It'll cost you absolutely nothing, and you can always unsubscribe later. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and so yeah.